Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another Historic Brawl gameplay video. Today featuring a Narset Enlightened Master deck. So Narset is one of the cards I hate playing against because it's so hard to deal with and it's very much get it down, you often win, not all the time but often. So what is Narset? Narset is a 6 mana 3/2, which are horrible stats, but the stats aren't what's important, and she is in Jeskai, so she costs 3 generic and then blue, red and white. She has first strike and hexproof, which make her incredibly hard to deal with. And it says whenever Narset Enlightened Master attacks, exile the top 4 cards of your library till end of turn. You may cast non-creature spells from among those cards without paying their mana cost. So that's where she is incredibly powerful, because there are some incredibly powerful non-creature spells. And because this is an attack trigger, not a combat damage trigger, you can attack and sometimes not even care if she gets taken out by a block. You think, well, I might hit something that lets me deal with a blocker, which can happen, or you know, you hit such powerful cards and actually you then don't care if Narset's on the board. But because she's got first strike, it is hard for her to deal with. It is hard for your opponent to deal with, and obviously hexproof means she can't be hit by targeted removal. Obviously sacrifice effects, sweepers, and other things like that do work, but they are rarer in Brawl than just targeted removal. So one of the most important things of this deck is ramp. 6 mana, you don't want to wait until turn 7 before you can attack. So we do have quite a lot of ramp. Obviously we're not in green, so we don't have a lot of mana dorks, but we do have pretty good. So Goldhound is a creature, a 1/1 first strike mana, which is pretty good, but it's also a treasure, so you can sack it to add a 1 mana. Strike it rich creates a treasure, then the standard mana rocks all on the top to Paradise, Ironcrag. Fable of the Mirror Breaker we have in here just because it's Goblin token can create a treasure. Staff of Completion lets us do a few things, including Proliferate, which we'll get to later. Draw a card, but also add 1 mana of any colour, but it does cost 2 life. Power Stone adds 2 colourless. Firemind Vessel adds 2 of different colours. And Key to the Archive as well adds 2 in any combination. And then we get to draft a card from your spellbook, giving us access to some quite powerful cards. Next up we have Removal, because obviously we need to survive until usually turn 4, 5 or 6 before we can get Narset on board and attacking. Path to Exile, Source of Plowshares. We have a lot of bounce spells, and the reason for that is we don't have any counter spells. It's weird for blue deck to have no counter spells, but obviously if you hit a counter spell with Narset, it's a waste. Well, probably a waste because you don't have things to counter. So we have bounce spells for things to hit with Narset, so we can bounce our opponent's blockers, and then obviously removal as well. We've also got Cyclonic Rift and River's Rebuke to bounce our opponent's entire board. Next up, we have Haste Enablers. Obviously, attacking with Narset the turn she comes down is incredibly powerful, so we have some ways to give her haste. I did have a lot more than these. I did have Swiftfoot Boots and Lava Spur Boots and Rising of the Day, and I think Bitter Reunion at one point as well. Because commanders with attack triggers like Kalia, for example, you want to attack the turn to come down. You don't want to give your opponent a chance to remove your commander, so they're really important. The thing with Narset, because she has hexproof, it's really hard for your opponent to deal with her. So actually, you don't necessarily need to attack the turn she comes down. So you don't want... Oh no, sorry. You do want to attack the turn she comes down, but you don't want to need to wait that extra turn to have that 1 mana to equip the Swiftfoot Boots, to equip the Lava Spur Greaves, to sacrifice Bitter Reunion to give your board haste. Rising of the Day is still good. I just took it out because all it does is just gives the creature haste. So what we do, we have 3 1-drops that can give haste. Bloodlust Inciter and Goblin Motivator can tap to give a target haste, and Torch Courier can just sacrifice itself to give a target creature haste. Torch Courier also has haste, Goblin Motivator and Entitled don't. And then Reckless Stormseeker, beginning of combat in your turn, you can give a creature you control +1 and 0, +1/+0 and gains haste. So we can get this on the board and then get Narset down to give it haste. And next up is basically our win condition. So because Narset is non-creature spells, we play Planeswalkers, quite a few Planeswalkers, because Planeswalkers are non-creature spells. So we have some really powerful ones in here. Wandering Emperor, Teferi, Master of Time. We can also activate Teferi, Master of Time's loyalty abilities in our opponent's turn, so we basically get 2 activations per turn cycle. Chandra is also really good. It's also ramp, that +1 to add 2 red. If we, say, ramp into Chandra on turn 3 or just get down turn 4, we can often play Narset the next turn. Zariel is another way to give creature haste, but also that -6, which is not particularly hard to get to, gets a second combat. So we can get another trigger with Narset. Teferi, Time Raveler, really, really powerful. It shuts off our opponent being able to cast spells during our turn, like counter spells. 2 Rows. Row Crackling Whip. I love this card. I play this card in Brawl all the time. I have done a video on him. Basically a Storm Planeswalker. And then Row Storm's Conjure lets us copy instant and sorceries. And we do have some pretty powerful ones as well. Jace lets us scry and draw and bounce opponent's creatures. Again, just as kind of pseudo removal. But then getting up to that ultimate is not particularly difficult. And then basically counters our opponent's first spell each turn. Teferi lets us create a massive spirit creature and draw extra cards. Other Teferi lets us draw cards, untap lands, and again bounce non-land permanents but into our opponent's library. And then an ultimate, which is really, really powerful as well. Eternal Wanderer lets us get a 2/2 double strikes, but also lets us blink opponent's creatures, so potentially remove blockers, and then acts as a pseudo board wipe. Chandra, again, ramp, but at 6 mana, once we've got it down, we're not really interested in ramping, but it does double up one of our instant and sorceries each turn, our first one. So again, we can double up, say, Time Warp. And then Ugin reduces the cost of all our mana rocks, and then basically gets extra creatures on the board, because we are quite creature light. So getting extra attackers down, and then it could also be removal. Because we have so many Planeswalkers, we do have some proliferation cards. So Augury lets us get through our deck and proliferate. Thrumming Bird proliferates whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Flux Channeler, whenever we cast a non-creature spell, we proliferate. We cast a lot of non-creature spells. Ackerman Gauntlet is pseudo-proliferate. It gives all our Planeswalkers 0 proliferate, and then -12 take an extra turn after this one. So all our Planeswalkers get 2 new loyalty abilities, one across 0, which is proliferate, so it acts as a +1, but for everything. And then whenever we cast a non-creature spell, we choose a counter target permanent, put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. So it's proliferate, but only for one permanent, so one Planeswalker. And then Inexorable Tide, whenever we cast a spell, proliferate. So very similar to Thrumming Bird, but enchantments are hard to harder to remove. With Ikamun Gauntlet, there was a game you'll see in the gameplay, opponent scooped, because it got a point, we could have taken definitely 4, probably 5 extra turns in a row, because we were just casting so many non-creature spells. We were just proliferating all the time, and we had Teferi, which Teferi was it? Teferi Master of Time, which -10 and takes 2 extra turns, so it's absolutely bonkers. Next up, we just have some kind of good spells. Brainstorm and Brainstorm are quite important because Narset hits cards from the top of our deck. It's good if we can manipulate what's on top of our deck. If we have a hand with some of our big hitters or some of our Planeswalkers, we may want to Brainstorm and Brain Surge, put them on top of our library, attack with Narset so we know what we're going to hit. Ragavan, we're in a red deck. You've got to play Ragavan. Prismari Command does a lot. It can ramp us by creating a treasure. We can destroy target artifacts. It can act as removal, and we can draw 2 and discard 2. That's really powerful because once we've got Narset on the battlefield, mana becomes less and less important. So we may, want a Prismari Command to get away extra lands. Tezzeret's Gambit, just draw 2 cards, then proliferate. Lorien Reveal, draw 3 cards for island cycling. So early on, we can cycle it to get extra land, additional land into our hand, and it's any island, so we can hit a Surveil land or one of our dual lands. And Oath of Teferi is really, really powerful in the deck as well. When it ETBs, we can flicker another permanent we control. It is not a matrix, so we have to do it basically, but it can be any permanent. But quite good if we minus a Planeswalker and then we can get that Planeswalker back, and obviously reset its velocity counters. But we can activate a loyal abilities of Planeswalker control twice each turn rather than once. That's really powerful with one of the Teferis, Teferi Master of Time, because basically we can do it twice on our turn, twice on our opponent's turn. So that -10 does not look so far away. And next up are just the really big powerful spells we want to hit with Narset, apart from our Planeswalkers. Time Warp, take an extra turn. Cast Temporal Sundew, take an extra turn. Sunbird's Invocation is a really powerful one. When we cast a spell from our hand, any spell with the top X cards of our library, where X is that spell's mana value, you may cast a spell with mana value X or less from among those cards without paying its mana cost. So if we get this on the battlefield, play out a Jace, we look at the top 5 and we can play a card 5 or less. Hidden the Motherlode, discover 10. If you discover cards mana value is less than 10, create a number of tap treasure tokens equal to difference. This is a bit of a win more card. Elemental Masterpiece and Creative Outburst are similar cards. We can pay 2 early to and discard and create a treasure to act as ramp, but then they're big hitters Elemental Masterpiece creates 2 4/4 blue and red elemental creature tokens. Creative Outburst deals 5 to any target. Look for the top 5 of our library, put 1 into hand and the rest on the bottom of the library in random order. Then 1 with a multiverse. Look at the top library, to our card. Look at the top of our library at any time. May play lands and cast spells from them. And once during each of our turns, you may cast a spell from your hand or the top of your library without paying its mana cost. And then its big brother, Omniscience. You may cast spells from your hand without paying the mana cost. So we want to hit this with Narset and then just rip through our hand, basically. Mana base is as you expect. We do have Arena Glory to allow to give Narset haste and Handweir Battlements. Handweir Battlements. You probably won't be able to give haste on curve because you have to pay to give it haste. Arena of Glory, you can exert it by paying paying a red and tapping it to add 2 red, so you can get Narset out on curve with haste. This is a deck, it is incredibly powerful. It does fall down a bit against really quick aggro decks. I did have Doomscar in here for a while, but then took it out because I think we just overpower opponents, and mostly we do. But it's one of those decks I've not won by beating down an opponent. They see what we exile with Narset and then just scoop, which is, I've played against the deck enough. It's annoying, but it's kind of funny. So that's the deck. I really, really enjoy it. I hope you all do too. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my gameplay. On the draw, but we do have some ramp and a way to give Narset haste. It'll probably just die. We can get him for 1. We can Iron Crag. And ramp with Creative Outburst. Probably should have played high Firemind Vessel, but they've got a lot of mana, so if I play something scary, we can Cyclonic Rift it.
These banquets are so wasteful.
Sack it, give our Narset haste. Play out the invocation, and then we can Brain Surge. And Oath, and we want Temporal Sunder in second. This way we know we're going to hit it with Narset. So we'll play this on blue. We will rift. Do we just rift everything? Yeah, I think we just rift everything. Oh, should have done that after we hit Temporal Sundering. Yeah, that was a bit of a whiff.
A proper noble requires a proper feast.
One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so we can do both of these. We will do the Iron Crag. Don't really need a land. We can do 2 of these.
Time to improvise.
Then we can Ugin. Take out Soren.
I can create or destroy.
And then manifest, basically.
Secrets manifest before you.
They're ramping.
Seconds. Time to improvise.
Then, yeah, we Chandra. Let's get a Flux Channeler. Create some more little tokens. Draw, then discard.
I do love a good puzzle.
Well, we've hit a lot of land.
No plan, no problem.
Well, I'm going to play out Key to the Archive.
Like light get cracked.
Discard the Fire Mines Vessel. Take out their Celebrant.
Well,
They won't know what hit them.
And them.
I've calculated exactly what I need.
never guess what happened next.
And then Ultimate Row.
You've got bottled Sure light showed back me. home. I'm called the
I'll search another plane.
Play out to Fairy.
This isn't a fight you can win.
Just tick up.
Trust me, I have a plan. Let's try this.
And let's see what they've got. It's like a farewell or something.
I'm ending this fight.
Just proliferate a couple of times. Well, we can take 2 extra turns.
I've got all the time in the
Yes, so we can take 2 extra turns. Well, how many extra turns could we take? 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 with Teferi, 5, at least 4, probably 5 extra turns, which would have been bonkers, but our opponent didn't want to hang around for. We are on the draw with no ramp and only 2 lands. I think we mulligan. We need, once we get into 4 mana, I think we're fine, but Get Lost can take care of their commander. Oh, there's a 3rd land. Does this get countered? It does not. I will put this on red, and we can... Let's play out the key to the archive. I think we get Demonic Tutor. And then let's discard let's discard the Firemine Vessel. We can cast Narset next turn. assuming she doesn't get countered. Well, they're going to be able to... I'm going to take out Get Lost now. Take out Dublin Season now. Just so that their Narset doesn't come down and can ultimate straight away. Maybe they're digging for... Okay. Thought maybe they were digging for one of their free counter spells. Which I probably were. We're on the draw. We don't want Nushins in our hand, really. Although we can create a treasure with Creative Outburst. But I'm going to mulligan. This is better. We can Spy Bluff Canal into Goldhound. And then Arcane Signet. And obviously Goldhound is a ramper itself. They are heavily ramping. I'm going to crack this now so we just play out Key to the Archive. Just get Lightning Helix. And then I'll actually discard the Lightning Helix. I'm happy with my hand. So what we can do is we can play out Narset. And then next turn we can just Rivers of Rebuke. Which may just get the concession right there. Yeah, well, let's get down Narset. What I might do, just so we see the trigger, assuming they don't scoop, is attack with Narset. So what, I assume they were going to play Bonnie Powell. So what I would have done is Attack with Narset, so we saw the trigger. And then Cyclonic Rift.
This ends today. I brought backup.
I'm happy with everything there. I'm interested if they didn't flash it in to block the Narset. Also, we don't have the mana to cast it. Oh, wow. Okay. Huh.
You live because I allow it.
So let's just check. Obviously, we can cast Rising of a Day for 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 9. Yes, we could have Rising of the Day and then Narset. Getting another trigger. Hitting them for 3. Take out our own Eternal Wanderer with a Samurai. Yeah, they probably should have played the Hullbreaker to surprise block Narset. We still could have Cyclonic Rift, but obviously it is a good blocker against Narset. It would be really nice if we could go first. We've got an okay hand. We're going to have to, I think, probably unsummon Taser. But we can surveil. Yeah, another land. Didn't expect to see Felia in a deck like this. We bounce it because Prismari Command won't be able to kill it. We will fetch Ursa of our land. Draw another land and we will hold up Prismari Command. Well, I don't like that. I know this doesn't stop it happening. But next turn we can get down Narset. Do they think? Well, let's attack and see what we hit. And we take out their bunnycorn. Obviously now their flyers can just take down Chandra. But their commander costs quite a bit to kill. Quite a bit to cast, sorry, not kill. Let's attack again. That's a good hit. Right. Oh, that was the wrong way to do it.
I'm always a step ahead.
I'll clean up this mess.
I think
Don't
I
need the
know
boots. Nothing happens when I just create a samurai. Lightning bolt, the shadow heart. We'll play out the Sacred Foundry. And Sunbird's Invocation. Let's just get rid of their blocker.
I bother sometimes.
Not the best hit, but let's play out Fable. Let's play out Juggernaut. And let's... I won't play out the Motivator. So Taser has haste, but the Spirit doesn't. Ooh. We still get the emblem though, so... Oh, just lands. And yeah, so we get another Teferi. Well, say another, our first Teferi. We can activate our loyalty abilities on opponent's turn as well. And yeah, just overwhelming with value. Well, we're on the play with an okay hand. We can turn to Arcane Signet, maybe sub a Doomscar. Up against Sorin, so a life gain deck. Let's get Savowland. Sure, because that can take out Sorin. Actually, no, it can't take out Sorin, sorry, because it's only does 3. Well, we can key. I think we take a second lightning bolt and let's pitch the Doomscar. So next turn we can cast Narset. They might be able to transform Sorin. We'll hold up a lightning bolt. Obviously, being in black, they might have a sacrifice effect, which would be unfortunate. So they're leaning more into vampires than just straight up life gain. And Lightning Bolt can take out Henrika as well. But for now, let's swing in. Yeah, they can see the time warp. So taking another turn means we get another attack trigger, basically. And just go on from there. Asus is a bit of a tricky one. Well, this is not a keepable hand. This is barely better. We need another land. So we will surveil for one. Yeah, this is tricky because ramping for the sake of ramping isn't always worth it. So we have blue, white. Let's get a red, blue, land. This can hopefully hit us some land. It does hit us land. We'll play out the Power Stone next turn. But they're going to get their ramp on. Ooh, only one extra land. So if we draw an untapped land, we can Narset. If not, we can Teferi. Obviously, if we knew we weren't going to draw the land. We'll just fire Mine Vessel. And we can keep up Fading Hope for Galter. We'll do that now so they don't get a massive trigger. They still draw 4 though. Brewer's Rebuke would be nice. Or Cyclonic Rift. Or Rivers. Actually, oh, we can cast both. So 2 cards we want to hit. Obviously we can still attack with Narset. But obviously she just gets chumped. Yeah, and that doesn't do it. I suppose hit the Mother Load can hit something. But no, that is us done.